Help, I've lost my job and I don't know whether I should try for another job or should I look to become a business owner, and is now the right time?
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Terry Coker with my friend Ray Fanning for Franchise Feedback. Say hi, Ray.
Hey everyone, it's Ray Fanning from Time to Franchise. Looking forward to talk to you today.
Yeah, what we do is we collect frequently asked questions from the world of franchising. So FAQs that we get during the week out of our inboxes, we call it the mailbag, and we read a question and we answer that so that you can understand more about the world of franchising if you're interested in exploring. All right, so Ray, what's our question for this morning?
Thank you, Terry. We have a lot of questions in the mailbag this week. A lot of questions, and
all right,
and that's great. And thank you, and everybody. Please, if you have questions, either send them directly to Terry or myself, or put them in the notes below.
Yeah,
We'd
leave
love
a
to see your
comment.
comments and see what's there.
Send us
So,
a direct message. What are the most questions this week, Ray? Is there a topic, since we have a ton of questions?
there are a couple themes, Terry.
Okay.
One that I'm seeing a lot is I'm seeing an awful lot is help. I've lost my job and I don't know whether I should try for another job or should I look to become a business owner, and is now the right time, and various questions like that. So
Yeah, my mailbox filled up with the same types of questions. So I would say in answer to that, it depends, okay? I think since most people have extra time right now, look at both, right? It's not a clear-cut either or decision in most cases. So really what you're talking about is, how do I want to generate income in the future? Do I want to be an employee, meaning, the company has its brand in the marketplace, its position, I sign on as an employee, and my boss says, here's what I want you to do, and you use your skill sets that you've developed to generate income in that way. The other way that we work with day in and day out is there's a franchise company, and they have developed a brand, and they have a value proposition and a service or product that they deliver, and then you license the right to use their systems to generate income for yourself. And so the question becomes, with where we are in the business cycle, if anybody knows where the business cycle is right now because of this major disruption, is it a good time to start a business, or should I look at a job? You have to overlay your personal life cycle with the business cycle. So where you are and where the market is have to overlap in some way. What would you say to that question, Ray?
well, first I'd say I want to acknowledge something, Terry, which is I know you and I have talked about this a lot, but there's a lot of pain out there right now.
A lot
A
of
lot of people were taken by surprise. Who saw this coming? And it's been a real pain, and people are feeling some pain and some anxiety and fear. People in my own family have had to deal with it, and you hate to see anyone you love or care about go through it. So we acknowledge the pain there. The second thing I tell these folks when we're talking is to look for the bright side, look for the opportunity, and look for your options. So I would consider this an apples to oranges opportunity to look, of course, look for a job if that's what you want to do. Look for the business ownership options just to see what's out there so that you can realistically compare and contrast your options. I was telling a person in particular, I have a story to tell you. Gentleman I've worked with several times over the last 2 decades who has recently come back in the last couple of months, had come back into the process and was in this exact situation.
Okay.
And Nick was looking at both jobs and business options, business opportunities. We decided to use our proven process of, hire your best boss. Who is your next boss? Who do you want it to be? And hire that next person. And he did. He looked at several jobs. He ended up, in today's economy, excuse me, shocking. He ended up with, 4 job offers. I mean, who gets that right now? Yeah. Uh, it's strong, it's sales, a lot of sales management experience.
Mhm.
At the same time, he was looking at 3 very intriguing options for business ownership. And, realistically, he just went through the system step by step. And he did hire his next best boss, and it was someone else. He decided to go back to work for a good friend of his.
So someone he had worked with in the past.
Someone he had worked with in the past. And it was a good situation for him, a tough situation, but he felt very good about it because he was able to compare the jobs, his job opportunities, with his ownership opportunities. And he made his best decision based on his criteria, which we helped him figure out and work with together. So it was very good. And we celebrated it, actually, Terry, as we do, because the idea really behind this is, how are you going to find the next best opportunity for you? Not necessarily the next best ownership opportunity. It may be, and we love that as well. It may be you go through this and it's right now, the best opportunity would be a job. So to know your options is to be able to make an informed decision.
Yeah, and I think you gave Nick good counsel there in that, he understood that when he took a job, he would have a boss and someone that he worked with previously. He knew what that situation would be like as much as he could project forward. And then I'm sure you guided him to ask him the question of himself, how would you be as a boss, right? Can you work for yourself? Are you your best boss? What does that question yield in terms of results? And when people do that, they come up with amazing answers. And so that's what we do here. Once a week, we open up the mailbag and we pull out some questions and we try and help you understand, number one, what it is that we do. We're franchise consultants. We have a process that Ray alluded to help people go through good due diligence. And we have companies that we've vetted out over the last 20 years in some cases, new entries into that portfolio, and we match people to that so that, once you understand what you're looking for, then you have companies to look at to answer that question. Who should my next boss be? Should it be me, or should I work for a boss who has a boss who might have a boss? That's what we do here. So if you'd like to jump on our calendars, leave a comment below, direct message us, or you can grab our email out of our contact information, however you'd like to work. And we will be back again next week. So Ray, do you have any final thoughts?
No, Terry, we're all good here.
We're all good? All right, then. See you next week, everybody.